live again.
Thank you very much, and welcome back, everyone. You've deliberated, and I have the decision here. Full notice of the decision will be issued to all parties to the hearing, including those that have only made written representations. The subcommittee has considered carefully the application, representations of all parties, both written and oral, the Licensing Act 2003, the licensing objectives, statutory guidance, the adopted statement of policy, the Human Rights Act and the Equality Act. The subcommittee noted the operating schedule for the application, including detail covering staff training, CCTV notices, deliveries, movements of staff and patrons, lighting, waste receptacles and Challenge 25 scheme. No representations from any of the responsible authorities have been received in relation to the application, but notably no objection was received from the police or environmental health. The subcommittee accepted advice that the absence of objection must be accepted as endorsement given the statutory scheme requires grant of a licence absent any objection, and the guidance confirms each responsible authority is the expert for their relevant field. It is apparent that flyers or letters have been sent to encourage objection to the application. The subcommittee accepted legal advice that the grant of a licence does not set a precedent, as each case is determined on its merits. Further, that extensive powers of review exist in the event that the premises causes issues or undermines the licence objectives in the event the licence is granted. The application attracted 42 objections, 2 of which were withdrawn, and 9 representations in support. Having heard all of the above, the subcommittee has determined to grant the premises licence as applied for and subject to the following conditions. 1. Use of the outside area to the front of the premises shall cease at 7 p.m. on any evening that the premises are open. 2. The outside rear garden and side alley shall not be used for licensed activities at any time. 3. Bottle bins shall not be emptied after 9 p.m. on any evening, whether the business is open or not. 4. Evening events, when the premises are open after 6 p.m. shall be limited to 5 evenings per calendar month. Please note on this, the limit on evening usage will not affect the use of temporary event notices at the premises. Reasons. Objection to the application focus generally but not exclusively upon the following issues: consumption of alcohol outdoors, use of rear garden, proximity of residential properties, family area, elderly residents, antisocial behaviour, alcohol-related crime and disorder, particularly late at night, nuisance from live music, there being no need for additional premises, car parking, traffic dangers, litter, effect upon other businesses and change of use. The subcommittee accepted legal advice given during the course of the hearing that commercial need, car park and traffic issues, business impact and change of use, which is a planning issue, were not relevant to the licence objectives and cannot be taken into account. The applicants gave considerable detail concerning the application. In particular, the subcommittee noted that the applicants live above the premises and have no intention of using rear outdoor spaces for business use. Evening internal use of the premises envisaged only a couple of evenings per month. The alcohol provision will be limited and of a specialist nature. Events will be of the nature of wine and cheese evenings, etc., etc. The application was drafted to allow flexibility. No intention to operate to a full extent of the licence. No outside advertising of sales and smoking would not be permitted or encouraged close to the premises, the primary focus being upon food. The subcommittee has to balance the interests of the proposed business as set out in the operating schedule and clarified during the hearing, and the rights of residents living in close proximity. The conditions imposed were considered appropriate given the potential for business serving alcohol to create issues and undermine the licence objectives, particularly public nuisance. Accordingly, the conditions imposed, particularly the number of evenings the premises can be used for, will serve to prevent a disproportionate impact upon residents. Conditions were also considered to limit the operating hours further and to impose a less entry hour. However, given the nature of the proposed licensed activities and the supporting evidence and reassurance from the applicants, these were not considered appropriate at this time. Use of the rear balcony was also considered. However, given this is only accessed via and to be used as a private property, this was not considered pertinent to the application. Residents can be reassured that in the event that the premises does change in nature or operate in a manner that undermines the licence objectives and relevant evidence supports it, the premises licence can be brought back before the licence committee for review. Steps will be implemented at that stage, including additional conditions or restrictions or indeed revocation of the licence in extreme cases and where proportionate and appropriate. Likewise, if the business operates successfully without issue of concern, it may reapply at any time to vary the licence. The right of appeal is for all parties to the hearing to Magistrates Court. Okay. Thank you very much. I'm now going to close the meeting and ask if they can turn the cameras off.